Ken Block, the legend who changed everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to Petro Head Things. Today we're talking about someone who didn't just drive cars. He made us fall in love with them all over again. Someone who turned rubber into poetry and asphalt into art. We're talking about Ken Block. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another video about Ken Block? But hear me out. This isn't just about the stunts, the donuts, or the viral videos. This is about the man who showed an entire generation that cars aren't just machines, they're dreams with engines. And more importantly, this is about how one man's passion changed millions of lives, including maybe yours, including mine. The beginning of a revolution. Ken Block wasn't born with a steering wheel in his hands. He was a skateboarder, an entrepreneur, a guy who co-founded DC Shoes and turned it into a global empire. But when he discovered rally racing in his 30s, something clicked. And when Ken Block discovered something, he didn't just participate, he revolutionized it. Think about that for a second. Most people at that age are settling into routine. Ken, he was just getting started. He looked at rally racing and said, "This is cool, but what if we made it accessible? What if we made it so exciting that people who've never even watched motorsports would stop scrolling and just watch?" And that's exactly what he did. Gymkhana, the game changer. Gymkhana won drops on YouTube. A warehouse, a Subaru, and Ken Block doing things with a car that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Spinning, sliding, dancing between shipping containers like he was playing a video game in real life. We'd never seen anything like it. Traditional motorsports had always been about the track, the competition, the championship. Ken Block said, "Forget all that. Let me show you what's possible when you mix skill, creativity, and absolute fearlessness." He turned driving into an art form that anyone with an internet connection could appreciate. That first Gymkhana video, it wasn't just a video. It was a cultural reset. Suddenly, people who thought cars were boring were sharing rally videos. Kids who'd never picked up a wrench were dreaming about becoming drivers. That video alone has millions of views, but its real impact? Immeasurable. More than just donuts. But here's what made Ken Block different from every other professional driver out there. He understood something fundamental. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you make people feel. Every Gymkhana video was a masterpiece. The locations got more insane. San Francisco's steep streets, Los Angeles with its iconic landmarks, Dubai's luxury, London's historic zones. He drove through a moving airplane hangar. He jumped over rally cars. He turned the streets of major cities into his personal playground. But it wasn't the stunts that got us. It was the way he made us feel like we were in that seat with him. The helmet cam footage, the sound of the engine screaming, the tires shredding, the smell of burnt rubber you could almost feel through the screen. Ken Block didn't just drive, he took us on a journey. And for millions of us watching from our couches, our desks, our phones during lunch breaks, he made us believe that maybe, just maybe, we could do something extraordinary too. The inspiration effect. I've read thousands of comments over the years. I've talked to people at car meets, and the story is always the same. Ken Block made me love cars. I became a mechanic because of Gymkhana. I started racing because Ken showed me it was possible. I was going through a tough time, and his videos reminded me to keep pushing. That's legacy right there. That's impact. There's a kid in Texas who saved up for 3 years to buy his first rally car because he watched Gymkhana 5. There's a girl in Michigan who became one of the few female rally drivers in her state because Ken Block showed her that style and substance could coexist. There's a veteran dealing with PTSD who told me that working on cars, inspired by Ken's builds, gave him purpose again. These aren't just stories. These are lives changed, dreams ignited, paths altered. Ken Block didn't just entertain us. He gave us permission to be passionate, to be different, to chase something that set our souls on fire, even if the world didn't understand it. The American dream, redefined. And let's talk about what Ken Block represented for us as Americans. Here was a guy who built a business from scratch, became successful, and then said, "You know what? I'm going to chase my passion." That's the American dream right there, but with a twist. He didn't retire to a beach somewhere. He didn't play it safe. He strapped into a 600 horsepower monster and attacked life with everything he had. He He showed us that success isn't about reaching a destination. It's about the journey, the passion, the relentless pursuit of what makes you feel alive. In a world that often tells us to be practical, to play it safe, to follow the expected path, Ken Block stood up and said, "Watch this." And then he proceeded to live life at full throttle, literally and figuratively. He represented something deeply American: the rebel spirit, the innovation, the refusal to accept limitations. He took rally racing, a European-dominated sport, and made it accessible to American audiences in a way nobody had before. The teacher we didn't know we needed. Ken Block taught us so much without ever claiming to be a teacher. He taught us about commitment, the countless hours of practice that went into making those impossible stunts look easy. He taught us about innovation, constantly pushing boundaries, trying new things, working with engineers to build cars that could handle his vision. He taught us about resilience. Not every take was perfect. Not every stunt worked the first time. But he kept going. He showed us that perfection isn't about never failing. It's about never giving up. He taught us about collaboration. Those Gymkhana videos weren't solo projects. They were massive productions involving dozens of people: cinematographers, engineers, coordinators, safety crews. Ken Block showed us that even the most individual-looking achievements are team efforts. And maybe most importantly, he taught us about joy. Watch any interview with Ken Block, and you see it, that genuine smile, that excitement when talking about cars, that pure love for what he did. He reminded us that work doesn't have to be drudgery. When you find what you love, it doesn't feel like work at all. The cars, the builds, the madness. Let's talk about the machines for a second. Because Ken Block didn't just drive any cars, he created automotive icons. The Hoonicorn, a 1965 Mustang with all-wheel drive and over 1,400 horsepower. That car alone became more famous than most Hollywood stars. It was outrageous. It was beautiful. It was everything a car guy dreams about at 2 a.m. His Fords, his Subarus, his custom builds. Each one was a statement. Each one pushed what was technically possible. Ken worked with the best engineers, the best fabricators, to create machines that could execute his vision. And in doing so, he inspired a whole generation of builders and tuners. How many garage builds started because someone watched a Gymkhana video and thought, "I wonder if I could"? How many custom shops got projects because clients wanted something like Ken Block's car? The ripple effect is enormous. January 2nd, 2023. And then the world stopped for a moment. A snowmobile accident in Utah. Ken Block was gone at 55. The outpouring of grief was immediate and global. Social media flooded with tributes. Fellow drivers, celebrities, fans, millions of people mourning someone they'd never met, but who had touched their lives profoundly. That day, we didn't just lose a driver. We lost a visionary. We lost someone who made the world more exciting, more colorful, more possible. But here's what I keep coming back to. Ken Block's legacy isn't about sadness. It's about inspiration that doesn't die. Every kid who picks up a wrench because they want to build something cool. Every person who decides to chase their passion instead of playing it safe. Every driver who attacks a corner with commitment and style. That's Ken Block, still with us, still pushing us to be better. The legacy continues. His daughter, Leah Block, is now racing, carrying on the family tradition. And watching her drive, you see it, that same fearless commitment, that same style. The Block legacy isn't over. It's evolving. The Hoonigan brand continues. The community he built is still strong. And every day, somewhere in the world, someone discovers Gymkhana for the first time and falls in love with cars all over again. That's immortality right there. Not in statues or monuments, but an inspiration that keeps multiplying generation after generation. What Ken Block means to us. So what did Ken Block really give us? What's the lesson here? He gave us permission to dream bigger. He showed us that age is just a number. You can discover your passion at 30, 40, 50, and still change the world with it. He proved that you can be successful in business and still be a kid at heart who just wants to do sick donuts in a parking lot. He reminded us that style matters. that how you do something is just as important as what you do, that you can be professional and playful at the same time. He showed us that sharing your passion creates community. Those millions of views weren't just numbers, they were connections. People from different countries, different backgrounds, different lives, all united by the love of what Ken Block created. He taught us that life is short, so drive it like you mean it. Not recklessly, but passionately. Not dangerously, but fully committed. Ken Block lived more in his 55 years than most people live in a century. To every Petro head out there, if you're watching this video, you're part of Ken Block's legacy. Whether you're a professional driver or someone who just loves cars from afar. Whether you build race cars or you just enjoy watching them. Whether you've been into motorsports for decades or you just discovered it yesterday. Ken Block made room for all of us. He said, hey, this thing we love, it's valid, it's beautiful, it's worth dedicating your life to. And he proved it every single day. So the next time you're working on your car, the next time you're at a track day, the next time you're even just watching a video and feeling that excitement build in your chest, remember Ken Block. Remember that he took that same feeling and turned it into something that inspired millions. The final lap, Ken Block never took the safe line. He never backed off. He saw a gap and went for it every single time. And in doing so, he showed us how to live. We miss him. God, do we miss him? But we also celebrate him. Because Ken Block's story isn't a tragedy. It's a masterclass in living fully, passionately, and authentically. He didn't just drive cars. He drove us to be better, to dream bigger, to push harder, to live fuller. Rest in peace, Ken Block. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for showing us what's possible when you combine talent, passion, and an absolute refusal to be ordinary. From all of us at Petro Head Things, and from every single person you inspired around the world, we'll keep your spirit alive. We'll keep pushing boundaries. We'll keep chasing our dreams at full throttle. Because that's what you taught us to do. Hashtag long live the Hoonigan. If this video inspired you, hit that like button. Subscribe to Petro Head Things for more content celebrating the legends and the passion of automotive culture. And in the comments below, tell us your Ken Block story. How did he inspire you? What's your favorite Gymkhana moment? Let's keep his legacy alive together. Drive hard, dream big, and never lift. See you in the next one.